Yo, what up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a story that's got the entire entertainment world, and especially the hip-hop community, on edge. We're talking about the man who built an empire, a titan of music, fashion, and business, Sean Diddy Combs. But right now, that empire is facing its biggest storm yet. Welcome to our in-depth coverage of one of the most talked-about legal battles in recent memory, the federal trial of music and business mogul Sean Combs, also known worldwide as Diddy or Puff Daddy. This trial, unfolding in New York City, has captured global attention not only due to the celebrity status of the defendant, but also because of the gravity of the allegations he faces. Today, we'll be providing a comprehensive overview of the trial, with a significant focus on the powerful and emotional testimony of his former partner and recording artist, Cassie Ventura. We will also delve into the courtroom atmosphere, including the presence of Mr. Combs' family and his reported demeanor as he faces these serious charges. Sean Combs stands accused of a range of serious federal offenses, including racketeering conspiracy, trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. The indictment, unsealed in September of last year, paints a picture of an alleged criminal enterprise operating under the guise of Combs' vast music, media, and lifestyle empire. Prosecutors contend that this enterprise was used over several decades to exploit and harm women. Mr. Combs has entered a plea of not guilty to all charges, and his legal team is vigorously defending him against these accusations. The trial is expected to be lengthy, with numerous witnesses and complex evidence being presented by both the prosecution and the defense. The trial commenced with intense media presence and public interest. The prosecution, representing the U.S. government, aims to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Sean Combs orchestrated and benefited from the alleged criminal activities. They have outlined a case that involves multiple accusers and a pattern of alleged behavior spanning years. On the other side, Combs' defense team, led by prominent attorneys, is tasked with dismantling the prosecution's narrative, arguing that the relationships in question were consensual, albeit at times dysfunctional, and that the charges of trafficking and racketeering are unfounded. They have also suggested that some accusations may be financially motivated. The courtroom itself has been a focal point. Reports from various news outlets, including People magazine and E! News, have described a tense but controlled environment. A significant aspect of the courtroom dynamic has been the consistent presence of Sean Combs' family members. His mother, Janice Combs, has been a steadfast presence, also regularly attending to show their support for several of his children, including his sons Justin Combs and Christian Combs, his adopted son Quincy Brown, and his daughters Chance Combs, and the twins Delilah and Jesse Combs. Their presence in the public gallery, often seated together, offers a visual testament to their support for their father during this challenging period. The testimony of Cassie Ventura is widely considered a pivotal part of the prosecution's case. Ms. Ventura, a singer and model who was in a long-term relationship with Combs and signed to his record label, took the stand for several days. As reported by NPR, CBS News, and other outlets, her appearance was striking. She was visibly pregnant, a detail that added a poignant layer to her testimony. Courtroom sketch artists and reporters noted moments of profound emotion, with Ms. Ventura reportedly crying at times as she recounted her experiences. Her testimony began by detailing the start of her relationship with Combs when she was a 19-year-old aspiring artist. She described how the initial promise of a music career under his mentorship allegedly morphed into a relationship characterized by intense control. She testified, according to multiple reports, that Combs exerted control over nearly every aspect of her life, from her professional decisions and the music she was allowed to release. She mentioned recording hundreds of songs with very few seeing the light of day, to deeply personal choices about her appearance, including her clothing, hairstyle, and even her nails. Control was everything, she reportedly told the court, encapsulating the power dynamics she described. Ms. Ventura also spoke extensively about an alleged environment of fear. She testified that physical altercations were frequent and that she often complied with Combs' demands due to this fear. She described alleged incidents of being physically harmed, including being knocked down, dragged, and kicked. One particularly disturbing allegation involved Combs allegedly stomping on her head. Her testimony also covered the constant alleged surveillance and communication demands, with Combs or his staff purportedly calling her incessantly or even dispatching people to find her. A significant portion of her testimony focused on events she and prosecutors referred to as freak-offs. According to her reported statements, these were multi-day, drug-fueled gatherings involving multiple participants, including workers allegedly hired by Combs. She described the logistics, the substances allegedly used, such as ecstasy and cocaine, reportedly to keep participants awake and compliant, and the emotional toll these events took on her. She testified that she felt these events became a job and that she would try to remain in an altered state to dissociate from the experience, needing extensive recovery time afterward. The infamous 2016 Los Angeles hotel incident, footage of which was previously released by CNN showing Combs physically interacting with Ventura in a hallway, was also a subject of her testimony. She described being given a black eye during that incident and her fear preventing her from leaving sooner. To bolster Ms. Ventura's account, the prosecution called other witnesses. Israel Flores, an LAPD officer who was a hotel security guard in 2016, testified about encountering Ventura with visible injuries, including a purple eye, and Combs allegedly preventing her from leaving the hotel. Flores also mentioned Combs offering him a large sum of cash, which he interpreted as an attempted bribe and refused. Another witness, Daniel Phillip, provided testimony alleging that Ventura paid him for SUL acts while Combs watched. Phillip also claimed to have witnessed Combs being violent towards Ventura on multiple occasions, stating he was too afraid of Combs' perceived power to intervene or report the incidents at the time. He recounted hearing sounds of physical altercations and Ventura crying and apologizing. Throughout these intense testimonies, Sean Combs' own demeanor in the courtroom has been closely observed. Reports indicate he has generally maintained a composed appearance, often dressed in tailored suits or smart sweaters. Courtroom sketches have depicted him with graying hair, listening intently to the proceedings. According to E! News and other sources, Combs has been seen interacting with his family during breaks and even making gestures towards them from the defendant's table. On at least one occasion, he was reported to have made heart hands towards his family members seated in the gallery, a seemingly subtle message of connection and perhaps reassurance amidst the trial's pressures. He has also been observed facing the jury directly at times, his expression reportedly unreadable or serious, as one might expect under such circumstances. These nonverbal cues, while open to interpretation, add another dimension to the unfolding courtroom drama, highlighting the personal stakes involved for the defendant and his loved ones. The defense, led by attorney Tenny Garagos, has actively worked to counter the prosecution's portrayal of Sean Combs. While acknowledging that Combs could be a jerk and mean, and admitting to a bad temper and issues with drug use, as well as episodes of domestic violence within what they described as toxic relationships, they firmly assert that none of these behaviors equate to the federal charges of racketeering or sex trafficking. The defense maintains that all relationships were consensual. They have also sought to discredit some accusers by suggesting financial motivations, labeling various civil lawsuits as money grabs. They are expected to continue challenging the credibility of prosecution witnesses and presenting evidence to support Combs' plea of not guilty. Public and media reaction to the trial, and particularly to Cassie Ventura's testimony, has been immense and varied. Social media platforms have been flooded with discussions, with many expressing support for Ms. Ventura and other accusers, while others urge caution and emphasize the presumption of innocence. News outlets worldwide are providing daily summaries and in-depth analyses, underscoring the trial's significance not just in the entertainment world, but also in broader conversations about power, abuse, and accountability. The trial of Sean Combs is far from over, and many more days of testimony and legal arguments are expected. The details emerging are often disturbing and complex, requiring careful consideration of all sides. Cassie Ventura's testimony has undoubtedly been a powerful and emotional chapter in these proceedings, but it is just one part of a much larger legal tapestry that the jury will ultimately have to consider. We will continue to follow this case closely and provide updates as they become available. It is a stark reminder of the complexities of the justice system and the profound human stories that often lie at the heart of these high-profile trials. Thank you for joining us for this in-depth look. We encourage respectful and informed discussion as this case continues to unfold.